Okay, hello and welcome. This is Matthew from Everybody Community. This is our first Zoom call, and I'm inviting anybody who wants to join. This is the first one, so many people don't know about it, and many people, no one has seen it yet because this is our first time. I'm recording right now. I'm going to share this. Right now, it is 9 p.m. New York time on Sunday evening, February 18th. 2024, and I'm inviting people to talk about, share ideas, and communicate about how to make America a better place. So we have this project, Want a Better America. Go to abetteramerica.club and join the club. You can get updates if you go to this website and click on participate. You can get free updates every week. I just shared one yesterday. That's so going to be a weekly update, just how the project is coming along. But basically, what the idea about with Everybody Community is building community that we don't have, building community in America that I never saw. And I've been to a lot of different countries through the years, and I've seen where there is community, where there's not community. Especially in America, I think that Americans are being forced to do a lot of things by the government, and they don't have any opinion about that. And I think one of the key things is contributing, paying taxes for things that we really don't want to support. Another thing is maybe not having a voice in the community. I remember when I was living in Rogers Park, which is a north side of Chicago suburb, and they were doing marches. And there was a local political representative there, and I said, "Hey, I'd like to meet. I have some ideas about building community." And I was working on a community project at the time in Rogers Park. And he said, "Okay, contact my person and we'll have a meeting." They never answered and they never replied. And I found that when I went to in Inglewood, which is the south side of Chicago, high crime, high poverty area, and I spoke with I spoke with the office there, and I wanted to set up a meeting with someone who was helping to, make decisions about what was going to go on in that community. But also, I didn't get any reply from those people too. So I considered it to be kind of a problem of breaking through to have a voice about what goes on. Because really, I mean, look at how America is being run. President Biden, and I think some people are still supporting him, but a lot of people have realized that maybe this guy is not completely with it anymore. Maybe he's suffering from dementia. But he's making major decisions about American taxpayers' money and about the policy of America, especially international and military excursions that these presidents create. And they say, we have to go to this country and we have to do this or do that, or we can't be involved in this conflict or that conflict. And I think that individuals, can decide, do I want to support that or I don't want to support that? I liken it to ordering pizza for 335 million people. Not everybody's going to want the same thing. And that's what's happening. And that's big government. And that's big government controlling so many things. And even when it comes to things in community, like when I was in Rogers Park and I would go, maybe I wanted to go to the store or maybe I wanted to go into the city. Especially in that area, there was so many potholes at the time I was there. That was 2015 was when I was living in Rogers Park. And the roads were horrendous, and there was nobody doing anything about it. Now, if we had a community organization, we could at least fill those holes with something temporarily until the government comes along with their more sophisticated means and fix it. But I remember destroying my car's suspension, falling into these potholes all over the place. And there was nothing that the local community could do anything about it. What about somebody who's poor? What about poverty? What about a single mom whose husband has died or who has left and she's left to raise the kids and she's not really getting any support at all? Maybe she's on food stamps, maybe she has some government programs. Problem with government programs is sometimes it's not enough, or sometimes there's a lot of fraud involved too. So there's not local people in the community that are helping. We don't have a local community center where people can watch their kids or where they can go to meet people to get help or to give help. So there's no community for that that I ever saw. And there's also no community for dealing with racism. You know, people are different. Um, people, oh, it looks like, okay, I'm getting a message here from my friend. Um, I'm just gonna share the link here with him and see if he can join. His name is Justin. So, you know, even with racism, you know, people are not interacting, and community can do that. Help people interact and understand each other and try not to be prejudiced against each other, whether it's a religion or a race, you know, skin color or ethnicity or what country they're from, things like that. People need to interact. People need to understand each other. People need to, get to know each other so we don't have this prejudice that that ignorance brings prejudice. I think once we get to know the truth, we're all the same, we're all equals, and sure, we all have faults, but we don't need to hate each other based upon ethnicity. Hi, Justin. Welcome. You're the only one so far, and I was just giving an introduction about the ideas of the community. Do you have anything you want to add or anything you want to ask or about this topic? Oh, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Maybe I've got you muted. Let's see if there's asked to unmute. Okay. So it looks like you're muted right now. And I've gotten a button here, ask you to unmute. Oh,
Yeah, can you hear me
now it's good. Yeah, now I can hear you. Thanks for joining.
now?
Appreciate it. I
Yeah,
appreciate being the only one.
yeah, I don't know. You were saying a bunch of stuff before I came on. What were you talking about?
Talking about the idea that there isn't really any community in America. There's no place to go. There's no place to go online to meet other people. There's no physical place to go, really. I mean, they have community centers, and the community centers can be for sports or something like that, but not really for example, to deal with poverty. Maybe a single mom needs some help, or maybe someplace for babysitting, someplace to contribute help, or someplace to ask for help. And what I was saying just when you were logging in was about racism and how I think every time I see racism, it's about two things. It's
Yeah,
about ignorance and it's about indoctrination. People say, oh, that color or that race or those guys are bad guys. And we're going to believe that unless we can go to the community center, meet some of these people, interact, and see, hey, they're just like us. Poverty, racism, and crime, because there's no accountability. Because they have neighborhood watches here and there sometimes, but there's no real local control over that. And when I was in the south side of Chicago, there were white cops that would come into a black area, and that always caused conflict. There weren't local people who knew, oh, this is kind of a bad boy. We should go talk to his mother or whatever. There was none of that kind of parenting that we used to have a long time ago. So I was starting to mention some things about why I think we need community.
yeah. As far as racism, that's I can't really speak to the police much. Um, I think that's something that has to be brought to the police's attention because right now I think the police have gone overboard. Because right now the police are lost kind of as I think being trained over in Israel.
Yeah, a lot of that.
So I think that the police I'm sorry, the police the people will have to bring it to their attention, just like they're bringing Palestine to the world attention by people protesting and every people doing demonstrations and just about every country. I don't think that the police are gonna help with racism. I think that the people are gonna have to help with racism.
Yeah, and I'm hoping
And
that, community projects can help people to do that, to give them a voice. Because right now, I think a lot of times, if you go to the police station, which I did once because I was physically attacked by some crazy kid in my neighborhood when I was living in Milwaukee a couple of years back. And I went to the police and, you know, they just thought I was nuts. They didn't want to help me. They didn't want to do anything. They said you can fill out this paperwork and maybe in the future you can get a restraining order. The kid lived in the same apartment building where I did. So I really got the experience when I was in Milwaukee anyway, that the police didn't care. They didn't listen. And when I raised my voice a little, not very much, but I said, hey, you guys, come on. They were all got ready like they're going to grab their guns and tase me or shoot me. So I felt like, wow, this is scary. They all kind of jumped. There were about six of them in the room, and they all kind of jumped. And I thought, wow, I'm gonna get I'm gonna get in jail or killed here if I don't just leave.
yeah, I mean, I've seen that happen a lot. In fact, my little brother, he lives near Milwaukee, and he goes through he goes through Milwaukee every day for work, and he sees that kind of stuff happen every day. Whereas the cops don't help these little I don't know, I shouldn't say little kids, because they're young men. They have like tasers and switchblades and stuff themselves, and the police they don't do anything about it. These kids just going around with the stuff out in the open. It's like but that aside, but like I say, that's something that we'd have to bring. And how we do that, I think that we would have to um well, I see stuff like um if we could somehow make make something that was more appealing. See, not to be racist like Hillary Clinton has been, but make something that was more appealing in these low. I forget what Hillary Clinton, doesn't matter what Hillary Clinton called them. Um, but make something that was more appealing in these low paid neighborhoods,
Oh,
wherever they are in America, be it in the South Chicago, be it somewhere in Milwaukee, wherever it is, and have these young men or boys come in, like whether it be we see them like I've been keeping up with AGT and different programs like that.
what is that?
They they had these programs like dance troops and stuff.
Oh,
They created these awesome dance troops from with because it was more appealing to these and it's mostly these black neighborhoods. And I'm not saying that to be racist myself, but it's true that the black neighborhoods get the brunt of the violence and stuff, and that's because education is mingles. I mean, education really they don't. These black neighborhoods are the poorest neighborhoods, so they
yeah.
don't necessarily pay for such an education. They're the ones that, since they don't have the money to pay for education, they're the ones that get the most. But if you can, like on AGT or whatever, I see
What is AGT? What is that?
America's Got Talent.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I see like guys who they've created stuff like uh community building, community stuff where just like the young men will come in and discover that they have hidden, not hidden, I shouldn't use the word hidden, but you know, talents to do other things. And it might be
Undiscovered.
dance, or it might be something besides dance, but
Yeah.
and kids off the street to walk it, create a dance troupe, and because and they were the people with like that used, but it's he did that as like a charity and stuff. It's no he what was I gonna say when he started it's the young man came in. He how he did that though is I'm trying to think how he did that. Oh, I could remember. Yeah, I forget what he said was. Well, yeah, it was really that he just left the doors open, as a and eventually, like one by one, it wasn't like anyone forced them in or anything. It was just that he left the doors open,
Yeah,
and like we've been talking about on Messenger, it's love prevails,
yeah,
and it won't happen right away, but the more that come in, the more that
yes,
you show your love, and then you start something with these kids, and one by one, they'll want to be together because of their, these kids are, gang oriented, so they want to stick with each other in their pack.
yes,
Pack is That's maybe the wrong word to use, pack, because that implies animal, but they want to stick with each other in their
like a
gang,
tribe. Yeah,
so they're going to follow each other,
yeah,
and if they follow each other, then they're going to do the right thing because
yeah,
like I said.
yeah. This thing.
And
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that following each other, it turns out really beautiful. I mean, the more you do it, the longer you do it, one by one, just you show your love and compassion. It's going to turn out really beautiful.
Yeah.
Just takes patience.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. I think that's a really great project, where they're inviting people from the inner city, maybe people from underserved areas. I know from my experience in America, I've traveled a little bit all over the country in my little green car, and
Mm.
the Black
Little-
people, and I think also Hispanics, Mexicans, and Central Americans too, are still, it's ridiculous, still underserved. And the South Side of Chicago is incredible compared to the North Side, where I spent several years and grew up, and where my sisters live. They live on the north side of Chicago. But you go down to the South Side, which they won't do because it's just dangerous. And I did a project down there. But what I learned is that, there are, like you say, there are not these resources. And if we do have a community center or an online community for starters, and then later on, I think a physical community center, once the online community becomes a little bit mature, we can have a physical community center where people can go. They can find out about these projects and programs. You can do a search online, but it's not the same as walking into a physical place, say, hey, we're going to have a meeting Monday night at 8 p.m. Anybody who wants to be part of the dance club, you're welcome to come. We can talk about it, get information, and decide what we're going to do. And it blows my mind. I mean, yeah, neither you or I are racist people. But to mention Black people again, look at the entertainment industry. Look at the incredible talent in the entertainment industry in just the Black culture. It's just incredible. And I think if we
Yeah.
were to tap into that more, these underserved people, no matter what color they are or what race, what ethnicity they are, if we have a community where we're able to nurture, support, like you say, love these people, tap into that incredible talent, find the cure for cancer, find great dancers, find great scientists, astronauts, people, business people of every level. There's this huge untapped potential of humanity living in poverty, and they're just struggling just to put food in their mouth. But these could be a math genius, and we never even know. And they live and they die without their potential being tapped. And there's
Mhm.
huge potential in people that are underserved.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's because I guess really they never get the chance to really, I guess they never get the chance to, I don't know if you say show it to, I don't know if you say show it to anyone, but
Yeah, to actualize,
come out.
to bloom, to bloom as a human being, right? We want to actualize, we want to reach our potential. And I didn't have a great environment for that, but I had a good environment for that. My parents, they bought music lessons for me. They bought karate lessons for me. I could do stuff after school. I could join the chess club, the school that I had in north side of Chicago. We had acting club. I was acting in plays. And some of these kids can't even go to school at all, can they? Or they don't get lunch. They don't get food because they don't have that much at home. They're malnourished, which really affects our ability to study and to have energy to pursue things that we want. And then the environment, right? I mean, these people, they know they're underserved. And so they get mad at the world because, hey, that's not fair. Look at that guy. Look at Bill Gates. You know, it's not his own genius that made him so, same as Steve Jobs. These guys were extremely privileged. And a
Mhm.
lot of the people, they're privileged. They have a network. They have parents that help them out. They have a community that's their own private little tribe, helps them out. And the greater part of society, a couple billion of us, don't have don't have that benefit. We don't have a chance to actualize.
Yeah. Yeah, really, it's a lot to do with the infrastructure of things, it's gotta just build on that.
Yeah.
It's but it's another thing is, just, whether it's you know, talking about racism or whether we're talking about veterans or whether we're talking about um uh, whatever we're talking about, it's it's about meeting people where they're at,
Yeah.
because you don't want to go ahead and it's it's kind of like religion, so to say. You don't want to, if you're I mean you don't want to like push something onto someone, and because if you push something onto someone, they're likely to say right away.
Yeah.
It's like, and so you just want to hold open, say, okay, here's whatever, and if you choose to, just just like I said before, leave your door open, and they'll sometime, if you leave your door open sometime soon, then just like I say, be patient, and they will eventually. And like I gave that analogy, I think, about the booze, they might buy booze the first time, a homeless person,
Oh, yeah.
and how, but eventually they will buy food.
Because they have a choice. Once they have a choice, it's not so much desperation.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. We got about 5 minutes left because I don't have this paid Zoom option, but I did want to mention, that this Everybody Community Project, it's not relying on anything from the government. It's not relying on anything from the rich people or, the leaders in the community. What it relies upon is the small businesses to contribute by maybe spending just a few dollars a month on advertising. All of the businesses will get a free listing on the online version, Everybody Community Online. And then if somebody wants a video or they want some extra, blah, 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 they pay a little bit. And this helps to fund the project. This Everybody Community Online includes every aspect of community, and you won't find that anywhere. TripAdvisor or Google search or Yahoo or any of these websites, they're not community based, they're money based, and they'll pick a niche like restaurants or something like that. But they don't say, we want to bring everybody together so I can go there and I can search for, people who want to play tennis with me, or people who need, like I mentioned, a single mom who's having trouble feeding her kids. Here she is. She's been vested and vetted. I mean, she's been vetted, and we know that she's a legitimate person with legitimate needs, and we can give and we can take and we can work together online from all these different aspects. And we're not waiting. I'm not waiting for the government. We can see the job they've done. And I'm not waiting for the business
Mhm.
leaders, because the rich people, they don't know what it's like to suffer. They don't know they usually have a silver spoon in their mouth. There's very few people that are very affluent, that have a lot of money, that really know what it's like to be suffering. So just wanted to make that quick point. I'm just looking at my clock here. Anything else we should mention in closing? We're going to do this again, by the way, every week at this time. I'm going to have a Zoom. So, Justin, you're always welcome, of course. And I'm going to share with other people too, and see if we have some other people that want to share. Anything you'd like to say before we close? We got about 2 minutes.
Um, Not really. I just think that we always gotta leave it to them, give them the option, because if they think it's in their, they think they have the control. Well, they don't think they have the control. Give them the control, and they have the control, and they will ultimately come to you. And you just show them the love when they come to you. Give them the love, they will come to you, and show them the love, and that's all you need really. And to change, that'll show them love when they come to you, and that'll change, things will change.
I see. Yes, I think it's a great idea. It makes me think about nurturing, healthy parents, they'll be nurturing their child, and the child can flourish and grow and bloom under that kind of an environment. But if we have some, where there's fighting in the streets and there's no money and there's no food, it's horrible. So we hope to nurture, hope to create an environment where people can feel loved. And I think things turn around completely when that happens.
Yeah,
All right. Thank you
exactly.
again. Mhm. Uh, Thanks a lot for joining us, Justin, and we'll see you again. Hopefully, we'll see you next time.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yep.
Bye bye for now.
Bye.